Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, we just had some great news drop from the Raid content creator chat. So I put a video out earlier this week, just basically calling out Hydra, asking to, or basically putting out some ideas of what fixes I would like to see. We've had a list of the things that they're going to do for Hydra in the next patch. And honestly, some of them are pretty damn cool. Is it all the things I would have wanted? No. Is it ever all the things I want? No, of course not. But let's go through what they have decided to do. And I mean, honestly, some of this stuff is super cool. So what we got here? Let's start with the common changes. The following stats will be decreased for all difficulties. Just to give you a sense here, if you go to hellhades.com, the raid stages tool, you can do this for any content in the game, by the way. Pick out Hydra, pick out the level that you want to fight, and the difficulty, yeah? So you can just kind of like pick it out and say, right, what level of stats have all of the different things in Hydra got, or any content? This is really good if you're trying to find the accuracy that you need to beat content, or if you're trying to understand whether bringing Savage gear is worth it or not, all of these type of things. So you'll see here at the moment, all of the heads, they have a defense that ranges between like 2.4k, which is reasonable, all the way up to like 4k, or the head of suffering, like nearly 10k. Just to bring that into context, if you put decreased defense on the head of suffering, it still pretty much mitigates all of the damage that he can do through defense. Yeah, when you're over 4,200 odd defense, basically mitigates like maximum amount of damage that it can, near enough. So putting decreased defense on this guy is literally pointless. So they're going to tweak some of these defense numbers down, some of the health numbers down, and the attack down on all heads in all difficulties, I think it says. For all difficulties. Less HP means you kill heads faster, means you get to that kind of spike point faster. It's way more fun. Less attack means you're on the floor less often. We like it. Less defense means you're actually hitting people harder. More chance to get those keys in. So I'm hoping that this gives us a bit more of a curve of entry into the Hydra boss. At the moment, it's kind of like steep, and then it's almost like steep plateaus up. Whereas this, I'm hoping it's going to be more of a kind of friendlier entry to normal and hard. Next one up then, the countdown of the mark of the Hydra will be increased from 16 to 20. Good change as well. So basically that's how often someone's going to be eaten. Yeah, and that's when the runs start going wrong. When you've got too many people being eaten, you can't get rid of the burp, then you start losing your champions, and then you're in trouble. So that going up is pretty solid as well. It says here as well, while the damage required to interrupt digestion and free your champions will be decreased on every difficulty except for Nightmare. Good. Again, that kind of entry into Hydra instead of straight up to highest difficulty. Like it. So what else we got? Let's move on to some changes that will be made for particular heads. I went through a few ideas on my video earlier this week. We've got here, Head of Mischief. So let's just pull up the detail on the heads. Again, you can do this. You can go to hellhades.com, come to Hydra Clan Boss. We've got detail on the heads, and we've got information about how to beat them on here if you want to. Let's go to the Head of Mischief, which for me is quite an annoying head, but not the worst, but quite annoying. You can direct the Head of Mischief to steal buffs from one person in particular if you can get someone who's just got more buffs. Like naturally they have more buffs, like a Krisk will buff himself, like a Lord Champfoot buffs himself. There's that dwarf that Nub Raid did a good video on, actually. I can't think what the dwarf's name is. He's a terrible champion, but he does buff himself with counterattack. Can't think what his name is. Anyway, Head of Mischief then. So a bit annoying. He steals your buffs and then he spreads your buffs across the team. What are they doing to him? The cooldown of his spread will go up from 3 to 4 turns. So he's still going to be A1ing you and stealing your buffs. But the spreading those buffs to other heads is now going to be on a 4-turn instead of a 3-turn cooldown. Actually quite a good change, I think. If he's the only one with the buffs and it takes him longer to get round to spreading them, you've got more chance to have champions that can either cleanse him before he does his A2, or more chance to put things like block buffs on him in between, I think. So feels like it's a bit of a decent change. Okay, he's not, in my opinion, like one of the worst though. So let's see what else we got. Head of Wrath then. So the defense stat will be decreased for all difficulties to make him less tanky. So I guess their thought here is kill him before he kills you, is what they're going for here. I mean, at the moment, I'll be honest, I almost avoid the Head of Wrath because he's hard to kill and he just does so much damage. So let's just get back to the stats here. So Head of Wrath, weirdly, for an attack-based head that does a lot of damage, is actually one of the highest defense numbers in the group. So yeah, I mean, if he was at a similar defense level to the Head of Torment or the Head of Mischief here, then you would be able to take it down a lot quicker and cause yourself less wipes. So could be a decent change, I think. Head of Decay then. So this is my least favorite head. And I've got to say already, I'm a little bit disappointed we're not seeing the Head of Torment on here. I've got to say it, but we're not unless they change something before they release it. So Head of Decay. This head will no longer be immune to provoke. You know what? I'd seen provoke champions were coming through. The new fusion champion right now is a provoke champion, Bevold. And I said it actually. I was almost expecting, I actually thought there would be a head that would be able to be provoked. I can't see. How do we see this dude? Don't know. Anyway, I thought there would be a head that would be able to be provoked, but it looks like they're just changing an existing head. So that's pretty cool. So the Head of Decay, you can now provoke, which means he won't be able to continuously do his cleanses. So he'll still use his A1, and his A1 will always go on the person with the lowest HP. That's always going to happen. However, he now will be able to be provoked so that he doesn't do either of his cleanses. And that is a massive, massive change. It brings up the value of champions that were already good, like Umbral. It makes Krisk an absolute freaking beast. If you do want to see, again, feels like I'm absolutely hard selling hellhades.com, but you know what? We've got the info, so let me show you how to find it. If you want to see champions that have got provoked on the homepage, just scroll down a bit and find debuff, and then find provoke. And you'll be able to see champions that have got the ability to provoke here. So either AoE provokes or single targets. It's all kind of grouped based on whatever it is. But there are a lot of champions actually now. Blood Twin provoke. Not sure if he can just straight up provoke. There's a weirdness about his. Attacks all enemies, 40% chance of placing a provoke. Oh no, it's just there. Damn. Drexar is just gone up in value. Already was a good champion, and everyone can get him. That's actually freaking awesome. Yeah, so there's plenty of provokers out there that really at the moment don't have a great place in the game. It's going to make them way more valuable. Physics as well in the mix. So there's a few. These are AoE ones, but you only really need a single target one. So even the provoker target champions are going to be strong here. And there is a ton of them. So it might be that you've played the game for a while. Someone like Skull Lord's actually possible to be the target for the buff steal because he puts a buff on himself and he's a provoker as well. So there's definitely now going to be more options in the mix. Husk was already a good champion in the mix. So yeah, there's a ton. Anyway, it's going to enable you to stop that cleanse. And if you stop the cleanse, damn, that is an easier fight. It is a way easier fight. All the time you've got debuffs in your control going out on the enemies. It is such an easier fight. It's way less RNG based because you're controlling the damage. Yeah, decreased defense, burns, decrease attack, stop you taking so much damage. Like you are controlling the fight so much more if they cannot cleanse themselves. So that is actually a massive, massive change for me. It's a really good change. So look, there you go, guys. Massive changes to Hydra. I think is actually almost through and through positive. Way better. Let's hope that's going to start to make the game mode more interesting. But Raid, if by any chance you're watching this, there's one thing you forgot. And it's a big one. The rewards suck in Hydra. I've said it. I don't know if I can say it again. They suck. Honestly, if you want people to get engaged in that game mode, just drop some cheeky little shards in there. Just drop them in. Just drop some cheeky little chance to get shards in this game mode. Yowza. That was me. That was me trying a video. It didn't go well. And yeah, you might find people play the game more. Anyway, I've been Hell Hades. I will see you later.